Are you thinking about moving to Atlantic Beach, North Carolina? In this video, I'm gonna go over an extensive real estate market update and go over the 7 key real estate market indicators for you so that if you're buying or selling in Atlantic Beach, then you'll be more knowledgeable and hopefully it'll help you make a better decision. By the way, if this is your first time on the channel and you'd like to know everything about living in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about the current real estate market in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. My name is Walt O'Berry and I'm with Real. I get calls from folks just like you every single day. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, feel free to reach out. All my contact information is in the description box below. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. All right, so let's get into the market stats for Atlantic Beach. And this is all for the month of April. First up, we have the average days on market. And so what that means is whenever I'm talking with a seller, then it's, we're talking about timeline, and days on market is the day that it goes live to the day that it goes under contract. When it goes under contract, you still have 30 to 40 days to close. And so the average days on market for April 2025 is 61 days. If you look back at April of 2024, the average days on market was 42 days. So it's basically gone up about 20 days. It's taking 20 days longer to sell a house in 2025 versus 2024. So not a big difference. Just to kind of give you an idea, in 2019, the average days on market was around 85 days. And in 2019, that was a pretty solid market. If I'm gonna go on a listing appointment in Atlantic Beach, then I'm gonna tell my sellers to expect it to take 2 months to get their home under contract. Could be longer, could be shorter. The average sales price for Atlantic Beach, and this is just April of 2025, was $905,000. The average sales price in April 2024 was $845,000. I think in a previous video, I actually said that the average sales price for Atlantic Beach was like around $800,000. That was actually the whole first quarter was $800,000. Next up, we have new on the market. So in April, we had 21 homes that came onto the market in Atlantic Beach. And this is just residential. This doesn't count condos. I know there's a lot of condos in Atlantic Beach, but this is pure residential. So we had 56 total active residential homes in Atlantic Beach for the month of April. We had 12 that went pending. If you had 21 that were new to the market and 12 that went pending, then the inventory grew by 9 homes for the month of April. We had 13 homes that closed in Atlantic Beach. We had 5 that were expired, canceled, or withdrawn. And we only had 1 that came back onto the market. So that means the contract fell through for whatever reason. That's actually pretty good. A lot of times you see in a month, you'll see more than that come back onto the market for one reason or the other. This next one I feel like is probably the most important, which is the absorption rate for April. The absorption rate for April is 6.6 months. And what that means is if no more homes come onto the market, it will take us 6.6 months to sell all the homes that are on the market right now. The absorption rate is how they determine what market we're in. 0 to 5 months of inventory means that we're in a seller's market. 5 to 7 months means we're in a balanced market, and over 7 months means we're in a buyer's market. With the absorption rate or inventory being 6.6 months, that means technically Atlantic Beach right now is in a balanced market. I'm not seeing a real, decrease in the prices of homes. You'd think like, oh, we're shifting from a seller's market to a balanced market. Maybe the prices are gonna go down, right? I know a lot of people with interest rates being so high and prices being so high, they're just kind of waiting to buy something, whether you're an investor or you're just kind of looking at it for a secondary home or your primary. You're waiting for those prices to come down, and in my opinion, I don't really see the prices coming down much, if any. You're seeing some price reductions, but that's because the sellers and the agents overpriced the home and they're having to correct those down to what the market will take. Balanced market, in my opinion, means that the buyers have more to choose from. There's more inventory. So if you're a seller, you have to make sure you're number one on that list when a buyer comes into town and wants to look at 3 or 4 homes. You need to do a lot more, in my opinion, to get the home sold. Get the yard ready, stage the inside, keep the inside clean, take down all personal pictures, kind of all that stuff, put out plants, play some music, make sure the house smells delightful. You have to do those things in order to get the home sold. Also, being in a balanced market, what I'm seeing in Atlantic Beach is that buyers have more negotiating power. So they're negotiating up front, whether that's price or repairs up front. And then once they do the home inspection, they're coming back for a second round of negotiations. If you do all those things up front to have the house ready, if you were to even do a pre-home inspection before you put the house on the market, and you fixed some of the things that came up on that home inspection, then the buyer will have less room to negotiate. If the house is buttoned up after that home inspection, and you can actually put that on the MLS or share that with agents, like, hey, we did a pre-home inspection, we did all these repairs, we invested another $5,000 into the repairs or whatever that might look like based on the inspection. But number one, it makes the buyers feel comfortable about the house, and number two, they're less likely to come back and try to negotiate if you fixed a lot of the items on there. And you want to look at the big things like structural, you want to fix anything that's structural. Safety, you want to fix anything that's safety, or not working like it should when it was originally put in, like the HVAC or any of the major appliances, the plumbing, electrical, all those things. Next up, the absorption rate for 2024 in April was 5.9. So we had already kind of moved into a balanced market all of last year. So that was pretty interesting. The original list price to sales price ratio is around 94%. So you can expect, if you list your house for, let's just say $500,000, then you're probably gonna sell it for 94% of $500,000. If you price it right, then you're more likely to get asking price or above, but that's just what we're seeing right now based on what has closed. What has closed for the month of April, the average, sales price to list price ratio is 94%, which is still, pretty good, pretty close to 100% there. Well, that is all I have for the key market indicators for Atlantic Beach. Whether you're buying or selling, I hope that kind of gives you a perspective on the market in Atlantic Beach, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.